Hi, Peter Charles here, folks, fly fishing. And today we're going to continue on with the short shanks series. And this time we're going to take a pattern from the archives, an old black ghost. And what we're going to do is we're going to convert this into a short shank version. And it's going to take some bit of creativity to pull this off. The other thing I want to mention is the techniques and the approaches I'm using on this fly should be applicable to quite a few old style streamers out there. So let's get started looking at the materials. I'm going to use my usual Vivas A-Dot black. My hook is this size 2 in a short shank. The body's going to be black squirrel, and that's where the change comes in. We don't have a shank to work with like we have on this fly, so we're going to have to do something else. And in that case, I'm going to be using some black squirrel. And I'm going to have to be creative, and I'm going to use some yellow floss for the tail. And we'll have to play around with that a little bit. Since we won't have a rib, we're going to have to use some crystal flash to replace the rib. The throat is going to be yellow saddle hackle. The wing, obviously, is white bucktail. And we're going to add eyes to this, so I'm going to be using my usual stick-on eyes with the ultrafine Danville monofilament to keep the eyes on. So let's get started. Now, to start, I'm just going to use a little bit of squirrel to get going. I'm not going to use very much. And this is going to be the body of the fly. Now I'm going to put on some yellow floss, and this is going to end up being the tail. So we'll just put a couple of wraps in there, and we're going to fold it over, bind it down, and I'm going to cut it off about 1 centimeter or half an inch beyond the black squirrel. Now you can see it's all curled, but don't worry about that. Once you've got this wet and it's flowing in the water, it will flow straight back. But right now it looks a little messy. Okay, and then we're going to put some more black squirrel on. Same length as the previous, and we're going to use it to cover the yellow. So I'm going to put some extra wraps here just to help to bind this thing together. And you can see what's going to happen is when this flows through the water, that yellow is going to stick out from the black, so it'll become the tail. So now I'm going to clean this up. Some of that squirrel sticking up, but we're not going to worry about it too much. It will be hidden. Now we'll take 2 or 3 strands of flashaboo, and we'll bind those in. Now you want that a little bit longer than the tail. Now for our wing, we want a nice long wing, so find some nice straight long white bucktail. Okay, bring our thread back. Soft wrap at the back, keep it in place. Now we'll bring our thread back a little bit, and we'll put in the yellow throat. Now, when you're doing a yellow throat or any kind of throat on a short shank hook, it's not going to look the same as a throat on a fly that looks like this. So we're not going to have the same effect. So we're just going to live with it the way it is. We've got the color scheme going, and now we're just going to whip finish this. Now if they're stuck on eyes, these are Mylar 3/32. I consider eyes quite important when we are using short shank hooks. You really have to encourage the fish to hit the head of the fly, and that's where the eyes come into play. And finally, we finish it off with the monofilament. And our head cement. Okay, there's our Black Ghost short shank version. As you can see, it has all the colors that are in the original, except slightly rearranged to fit on a short shank hook. And I think this kind of approach can be done with a lot of different patterns from that era, those classic long shanked streamer patterns and bucktail patterns. So give that a try. I mean, I'm using a bucktail wing. You could do the same thing with a feather wing. It would work. So you could make this in the feather wing version. And you've got the basic color scheme is all there. So there's my Black Ghost in a short shank version. And as I say, I find the eyes to be a critical component of any short shank hook. You want an additional target to encourage the fish to go after the head of the fly. So give it a try, the Black Ghost short shank version. Cheers.